Thank you for joining the presentation today on permitting in Maricopa County. My name is Leslie and I work on the food entrepreneurship team for Local First Arizona. So this is an exciting time to get prepared for to actually start your business and start working in one of our kitchens. So ahead of time to prepare for your application, you're going to need to have a few things taken care of. The first thing, you're going to create a profile on Maricopa County's Permitting Center website. There's also a document they will require called a lawful presence document, and we will go through that together. You'll also need a completed commissary agreement for the kitchen you are assigned to work in. This is provided for you by the kitchen manager of that shared kitchen. And lastly, you will need to make just a simple Word document of a sample menu of the food that you're going to be preparing. In order to begin and to fill out an application on the Permit Center, you're going to need to create a profile. And all of these links are hyperlinked in the presentation, so you can access them that way. Because I already have a profile on the website, it's going to show you in this upper right-hand corner that I am signed into my account. If you're not signed in, it'll say sign up or register in this upper right-hand corner. And you go through a few simple steps of adding your name, your contact information, your address, your phone number, and email, and then that's it. And you'll have access to the permit center. If you do get stumped with any of these particular processes, especially that creating the profile, you can always refer to the how-to guide available on the website. Next, I'm going to show you a lawful presence website. Now, before you fill out this document, you're going to have to think about how your business is set up. If you are a sole proprietorship, you will have to provide documentation that is government issued and it contains a photograph so they can verify your identity. Alternatively, you may be set up as a limited liability corporation, and that will serve as proof of lawful presence. And this is what the document looks like. So it'll explain exactly what the approved government IDs are that they accept for verifying your identity. There are things like a driver's license, one of the first things, your birth certificate, a passport. If you do use a birth certificate, those generally do not include a photograph. So you will need to provide an additional piece of ID verifying you are who you say you are. But like I mentioned previously, the majority of you will likely be an LLC. So you can skip down to the lower half of this document and put in your LLC name and check the box that you are registered with the state of Arizona, the Corporation Commission, with your LLC information. And then you're going to save a copy of that, download a copy of that so you have it later for another step later on in the process. The commissary agreement, and I will show you exactly what this looks like. Rather, these commissary agreements are provided to you by the shared kitchen manager. So the pertinent information they have will be filled out, but I can show you what a commissary agreement looks like when it's just blank. There are examples of these on the Maricopa County website. So you can see the things that a commissary must provide are these fresh water supply, gray water disposal, food prep space, trash disposal, storage, chemical storage, things like that. It always includes some examples of commissary kitchens in the valley. And then this is the piece of the document that is most important for this application. All of these things, the checking all that apply of these will coincide with the lower half of this document. The lower half of this document is filled out by the commissary owner or the commissary manager. So like I mentioned, this will be provided to you. So then you would just copy over the check boxes onto the top portion. You're going to put your owner name, your phone number, the business name, and you won't necessarily have this permit type or this permit number that you know what you're going to fill out there. So that'll be filled in at a later time. And then again, download that so you have a copy of it so you can attach it to your application. And this is where we get to the application part. So when you are in the permit center, you will notice that there are a lot of different applications that you could fill out. The one that is pertinent to you to get permitted in one of our kitchens is the fixed establishment health permit owner change. It is the only one you want to click on, and everyone will fill out the same application. So I can click into the permit center to go directly to the application page that I want because I'm logged into my account. So scroll down a little bit, and here's the fixed establishment health permit owner change that we want. Click apply so that we can begin. And it's going to start with the location first off. So you're going to click this plus sign, and then you're going to click on enter manually. Now this might be a little bit confusing because if you start filling out an address in this box, it's going to pre-populate addresses that are in the database. Skip that part, and I want you to start right at the street number. The address that you're going to put in this location is the address of the kitchen. This is not your personal address. This is the shared kitchen address. So I'm going to use our Mesa kitchen as an example. Main Street. And you'll see each little bit of this address has a separate line. There's no post direction, there's no suite for this. The kitchen is located in Mesa in the state of Arizona. And the county is Maricopa. All of these applications that you will be filling out will all be in Maricopa County. This next page asks about, it verifies the location that you just added, so you can check for any typos that you may have had and make sure, verify it's in the format that I showed you on the previous page, where it's step by step, each line has part of the address, because you want it to populate at the right location, and that's how this software works. So permit details, you'll see this drop-down box you cannot access because it is attached to the actual permit that you're filling out, that fixed establishment permit. And in this description, you're going to use a short and concise description of what you are making. This should not be a menu. This should not be complicated or too long of a description. In fact, here is an example of what I am going to provide it for this application. And I'm just writing cold brew direct to consumers. And you'll get to this contacts page, and these little boxes show you who is connected to this application. And this may be a little silly, but I am the applicant, and I am also going to input my name for the business owner. So I will be in here twice. You may have somebody that is filling out this application on your behalf. You may have a limited liability corporation that is two of you own it, your husband and wife team, your best friends, whatever that might be. So these two people that are in here, the applicant and the business owner, you have to have both of them. You'll see the required. Since I am the applicant and the business owner in this case, and I have an account on the permit setter, I am just going to put in my email address, and it is going to pre-populate all of my information based on my registration when I made the account. So now you can verify you have both of the required boxes, the applicant and business owner. This next page is going to ask you something called a DBA. A DBA is a doing business as. A lot of times LLCs are set up to maybe you have a couple different food business concepts that you're doing. Maybe in this case, I do cold brew, and then I also want to have a sandwich company. My LLC name might be one thing, where my cold brew or my sandwich company might have a different DBA or doing business name as. It's also common to have them as the same name, which in this case they are. And then you're going to choose the business owner entity type, limited liability company in this case, and the business overview or modifications made box. This one you are going to put the exact same description you used previously. So cold brew direct to consumers. So whatever that short, concise description is from the previous page, you're going to duplicate it in this business overview. This gives the county an idea of what you are trying to get permitted as, so they can figure out what the particular permit is that they need to connect to your business. Provide the number of food-related permits you are applying for ownership change. This is likely going to just be one. Provide the number of hotel or school ground facility permits. This is going to be 0. We are not at a hotel or a school ground. And then for this next box, you're going to go down here to previous permit. You're going to add a row, and I'm going to put in, all of you will put in the same thing. It's going to be Local First Arizona Foundation. Because there are other permits connected to our commissaries, the reason they exist is we have Local First Arizona Foundation permits so that we can offer it as a shared kitchen. And that is in the database. So we're putting that previous permit info here so that it can be connected on the back end. Is outdoor cooking conducted? We do not allow any outdoor cooking, and this includes grilling or smoking. There are additional permitting steps that have to happen for any outdoor cooking to be permitted, so we just don't allow it. So we're not going to check the box here for that. We're also not going to check the box for do you have a dog-friendly patio, because we do not. You are going to check, is your business located in a shared kitchen? Check that box. And once again, you're going to put in Local First Arizona Foundation. This next section, you need to know some information about the shared kitchen. This is available on our websites for each of our kitchens. So once you're assigned to one, you can get that information there. It's also in the presentation that I am including. So you can either go through the slides here or as I'm filling it out. So I'm using the Mesa kitchen. So I know that's 2,500 square feet. All businesses conducted on one floor. The date of owner change is the same as the application, so I'm going to put that in today. And the business opening date is also the same as the application date, which is all today. This language here talks about a 30-day transition, which allows for new owners of existing food establishments and accommodations and things to be made. There's a 30-day, essentially a grace period. So for those of you that are moving from, you're keeping your same business, but you might be moving from one commissary kitchen to another, you have that grace period so they don't close out your permit. They allow you to get situated elsewhere in enough time. So new owner agreement, you're going to agree to this because it's actually to your benefit to do so. Here's some more utilities information that you wouldn't necessarily know off the bat. So I will help you with that. Type of water service is going to mean municipal. In this case, the kitchen is located in the city of Mesa. So the name of water provider, I will just put as the city. Same with sewer service, city of Mesa. Again, if you are in one of our other kitchens, it might be city of Phoenix. That is the answer for this. It depends on what kitchen you're connected to. For all of our shared kitchens, we have conventional tank water heaters, and all of them have at least a 100-gallon capacity. There's a licensing timeframe question here. You are not going to check this box. We do want your permit to be treated and approved within a time frame that is, it takes about 2 to 4 weeks. So we want it to stick with that. We don't want to extend that time frame at all. So the next page, we're going to add some attachments. And these are what I spoke about earlier, the required documents that you need to have in order to submit your application. So all required review documents, this first one, for this instance, I'm going to add that commissary agreement because that is one of the required documents. So once it pops open, my folders, so I can choose commissary agreement is one required. And then I'm going to add another required document. So all required review documents, I'm going to add that. And in this case, the other required document is that lawful presence document. So filled out lawful presence with your identity and the approved resources for that. So any approved resources, if you have to supply a picture of a driver's license or a passport, save those on your computer as a PDF or rather a JPEG or an image, and then you can attach those also as required review documents. And then this last one that you need to submit with the application is that menu. So a simplified menu of some things that you provide. In this case, I made a really condensed, very simple, short menu. In this case, I have 4 items that I'm providing for my business. Short and sweet. You do not want to get too detailed in this, and do not put things that you are considering making in the future. This is the stuff that you're making right now. This will speed up that process to keep it simplified. So now you want to make sure you have these three things connected to your application. You have to make sure you have a commissary agreement, the lawful presence document, and a sample menu. These 3 things have to be in this application in order for it to be accepted. So when you hit next, it's just going to upload those documents. You're going to electronically sign, so type in your name here, and then using your mouse, you can scribble out your signature. Hit next. And then this page, you're going to review all of the information that you put into this application. And this is where you really want to make sure that you did everything correctly. Make sure it's accurate, make sure the addresses are the same. If not, you will have to go back and edit those before you submit. It's important to do that so that your application does not get held up on review as they're trying to verify information that may have been inputted incorrectly, or if it's incomplete. If the application is incomplete, that also slows down the process. So estimated fees. So you're going to see this $315 amount. This is the amount to pay for the inspection in the first place. So you submit your application, it gets reviewed by Maricopa County, you pay a $315 fee so that the inspector rather, meets you at the commissary kitchen and they talk specifically about your business and your permit. And that is how you kind of unlock that inspection, is by making that initial $315 payment. And that will be populated. You will get an email to submit that payment after you've submitted your completed application. And once you verify all the information is correct, then you're going to hit submit. And then it gets processed. And like I mentioned previously, once you pay that inspection fee of $315, it can take 2 to 4 weeks for the inspector to reach out to make that appointment with you. So do think about that time in terms of what events or farmers markets or things that you are agreeing to participate in. You may not have a commissary kitchen that is available to you until 4 weeks later. So again, all of the pieces of the application are covered step by step in this presentation, so you can go back and go through each of these pieces so you understand how to answer the questions correctly. And especially on this next page, I'm going to show you the square footage information is all here for your reference and other things like where the water comes from, what type of sewer system it is, the capacity of the water heater. All of that is in the slides for your reference. Again, those attachments that you're going to add. And then you can, in the permit center, under your account that you registered for, you can check the progress of your permit, whether it's in review or if there are additional things the county is waiting for. And then you can also pay your fees directly in that permit center. And then once you get that green light, reach out to that shared kitchen manager so that you can continue the process so you can get cooking in that kitchen. Please reach out with any additional questions that you may have, or if you need some assistance filling out the application, we're happy to help. Have a great day.